And now I would like to do our COVID report. We have good news since the last 2 weeks that I shared our data. First, though, I will point out that the Public Health Department hasn't updated its data on vaccinations and case rates since March 11th because they are pausing in order to do some realignment with the state on the vaccination data. And as a matter of fact, to that point, we have been trying to figure out how, figure out's the wrong word, but we've been talking with our Santa Clara County Public Health Department to advocate at the state level so that the data on students who are vaccinated can be easily transmitted to our school system. And I'm not sure, but I'm wondering if that's part of the reason why they're pausing, but I will find out. In the meantime, this is data from March 11th, and last week when I reported it was data as of March 8th, so there really isn't much change. The vaccination rate for those, or vaccination case rate for those who are vaccinated stayed the same in those 3 days. For unvaccinated, it went down by 0.1, and for overall, it also went down by 0.1. And then same with the numbers who are vaccinated. Those numbers didn't change in the 3 days. However, when I reported to the board last 2 weeks ago, I used the vaccination rate for ages 5+, so that would be youth through adult, and I meant to share the vaccination rate for ages 5 to 17 because that gives us a good mirror of what it most likely looks like in our own schools. And remember back, I think it was around September, October, when we had data that was accessible from the state level, it did demonstrate that Milpitas actually had a higher vaccination rate at that point in time than the rest of our counterparts in San Jose and Santa Clara. So I would venture to guess that the vaccination rate in Milpitas is actually higher amongst the youth than 73%. Here's the good news. In looking at our cases that we've had since March 7th, compared to where they were from the 2-week span between the November reporting period and the December reporting period, it's about the same. There's only been 29 more cases for us, and back at that point in time between November 21 and December 13th, pre-surge, it was only an increase of 23. So it's looking like it could be very positive information that we are heading into an era where we do not have a large number of cases, and watching what's happening in the rest of the world. While there are some spikes around the variant that comes from Omicron, it still indicates that those who have been vaccinated, that the case rate is very low. I will share with the board that I've asked our Safety First team to work with principals to go ahead and do what we can to do individual hand counts of vaccination rates, providing that parents will provide that information to us, so that by the April board meeting I'll be able to report on what the vaccination rate is for our students. There's this, I introduced this last time, it is a new way to track the rates of COVID across the country. This is a data point that's provided by the Centers for Disease Control, and it has just 3 indicators, green, yellow, and red, and our county remains in the green, which is low, a low case rate. Our testing for all, Safety First, has been launched. We have 6 COVID clinics available to the community as well as to our staff and family located throughout the district. We are working with COVID Clinic to expand the times at 2 of the COVID Clinic elementary sites so that parents can come after work as well to get tested. I'm pleased to share too that the state has promised that it will deliver COVID tests to counties in time for spring break. And so we will be picking up ours from the County Office of Ed soon and then getting those home the week of April 4th with directions to both staff and students to test on April 17th, which is the day before we come back from spring break, and then again the second or third day in. And that concludes my COVID report.
Question for you. On the test that we will be receiving for the state, will all students receive them?
Yes, based on what occurred in the December distribution, the state had allocated based on CBED's data from 2019-20, and they did not include Child Development Center numbers. So this time, our county at least is accounting for that. So we will have tests to go home for early childhood development. And students in K-12, I'm not sure about adult ed, I need to double check on that. But unlike in the winter break, we also will have tests for staff. And so that's new too.
Will there be still drive-through clinic opportunities for parents as well?
Yes, our COVID clinics will also still be open. And the city of Milpitas still maintains its COVID testing sites at the community center as well as the sports center.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Superintendent, I have one question. I was kind of a little bit confused. You know where the slide that you make the appointments and you go to the school sites?
Mm-hmm.
Will you just show up and you do the appointments?
Yes, so you go to your let me share the screen. So if you go to either your school website, and you can also come here to the main website. Oh, also, I wanted to point out, we now have a new MUSD Safety First Team newsletter, which is posted every 2 weeks on our website. And our staff does a really great job on that. So if you come here to our new COVID testing program, you can register here where it says to register. And then you would register there. And you only have to register the one time. You follow the sign-in information, and if you would need to use your child's email address. Is that right, Mr. Forstner? Or can the parent also use their address? Is that also in the database?
Well, they're registering the child, right?
Right, and also the parents can test as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if, I'll check on that and get back to you if they can use their own personal email.
Here it is. For community, please register for testing at the Milpitas High School site. So for your children, you can go through the first link, and then for yourselves, then you could come to the second link. Do you see that? There's this link for students and staff, and then here for community, which includes parents, then you go here.
And also, if you go through that clinic, the website, there's an opportunity for additional email addresses to be registered, to be associated with the student, with the parent or sibling, so that they can go through the testing that way as well.
Oh, good. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you very much. Yeah.